In Missouri, an 18-year-old shoots a man 15 times and hides the body in an air mattress. What? In Georgia, a Navy commander is relieved of duty after an arrest for DUI. Mm-hmm. And a judge rules a Hollywood murderer has to appear shirtless in court. These stories and more coming at you today, Monday, January 22nd on Real Life Real Crime Daily. And I'm Jim Chapman and
I'm Woody Overton.
What was that? What were you going to say after? And I'm
introduce yourself first.
And I'm Mike Agavino, wondering what Jim was going to say.
Well, I just wanted to say happy, quote unquote, Monday morning for all you Fleetwood Mac fans out there. Remember that song, Monday Morning? Y'all don't?
I love Fleetwood Mac.
Monday Morning.
Monday morning.
Stevie
That's
Nicks.
the Mamas and the Papas.
No, well, they might have sang it too, but Fleetwood Mac is.
You know,
Stevie
look
Nicks
it up.
was always hot.
Anybody who does a cover of a Mamas and the Papas song, you can't. I mean,
remember last week we were doing Manic Monday. So
Mama Cass, you can't do a
morning.
cover of Mama Cass.
Well, talk to Fleetwood Mac.
You got to watch.
They made it happen.
You got to watch Laurel Canyon.
Laurel Canyon.
Look, no, great documentary, Laurel Canyon.
Okay. All right. Well, let's get down to some crime time for Fleetwood Mac and the Mamas and the Papas and the Bengals and everybody else. Belinda Carlisle.
Beautiful
Beautiful eyes.
She was awesome.
She was in the.
I used to think she was cute when I was young.
Yeah, she was cute.
Go-Go's, wasn't it?
No, she was.
Yeah, she was Go-Go.
No, she was in the Bengals.
The Bangles?
Bengals.
No, she was the Go-Go's.
Boys, I know my
Go-Go's.
80s music.
Belinda Carlisle's the Go-Go's.
to Google it.
But here's a question:
Yeah.
Stevie Nicks or Christy McVie?
I don't know who Chris McVie is, but I like Stevie Nicks.
I love Stevie Nicks' music.
Oh, you're right. Go-Go's.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. Who's the
Go-Go.
Christy McVie actually has an amazing voice. You don't realize sometimes.
I don't know who she is.
The other vocalist on Fleetwood Mac.
What's her
You
name?
know who Stevie Nicks is?
No, I know who Stevie Nicks is.
Christy McVie. So there's a lot of Fleetwood Mac hits that she's the lead vocal on.
Really?
There's a ton that obviously that Stevie was and even Lindsey Buckingham was. But
Hey, I forgot about this one. The Bengals, and they're listing their songs in 1981. Of course, we have Manic Monday, Walk Like an Egyptian, which everyone knows. Hazy Shade of Winter. I used to love that. In Your Room. And Eternal Flame was a good one, too. Trying to see what that lady's name was.
And Mike tried to say they were a one-hit wonder.
they were talentless, Woody.
You obviously forgot about Walk Like an Egyptian.
That was a girl band. That was a put together one of those manufactured girl bands.
Don't ruin my teenage years for me.
That's right.
Did you like
Everybody
Josie and the
loved the
Pussycats too?
I thought that
They had some hit songs, didn't they?
Cartoon.
I like the Stray Cats.
It's a cartoon, but they had
Black and orange
they released
Stray
music.
Cats.
Hey,
Josie and the Pussycats.
Let's get down to some true crime time for Monday.
You started it.
All right.
All right, we are gonna bring you to Missouri.
Missouri.
Start off in Missouri
Yes,
today.
dear Missouri.
A rolled up air mattress concealed the body of a 23-year-old man who was shot repeatedly inside a Missouri home. The accused shooter, 18-year-old Jackson Pierce, was charged with second-degree murder following the incident in St. Peters, which is about 30 miles northwest of St. Louis. St. Peters police identified the victim as 23-year-old Dalton Coleman. Pierce told witnesses Coleman had been acting erratic while they were inside the home. The witness, who was speaking on the phone with Pierce, told the 18-year-old to distance himself from Coleman and take with him a gun that was stored in the kitchen cabinet. Minutes later, the witness received another call from Pierce, who said he had shot and killed Coleman. Police were called to the home, and Pierce was taken into custody, and while being interviewed, he admitted to there being a body inside the residence. Officers searched the home and found a rolled up air mattress that had been tied tightly and wrapped with a piece of an electrical cord. Inside the mattress was the body of Coleman, who had a garbage bag over his head. Pierce said the shooting happened as Pierce and a juvenile were in the bedroom. Coleman forced his way inside and the physical altercation started. When Pierce saw Coleman look at the gun by the bedside table, he grabbed it and just began firing. Pierce stated the first shot hit Coleman in the abdomen and he did not go down. Pierce stated he continued to fire 14 more times until the gun was empty.
That's right.
And Coleman did not fall to the ground until the last shot was fired. Coleman was shot 15 times in the abdomen, hand, and face. Pierce was charged with second-degree murder, armed criminal action, and tampering with physical evidence. He was jailed on a $1 million bond. The juvenile accused of helping Pierce conceal the body is also facing charges 15 times.
They made him dance. That's what they call it when the body didn't fall because he was firing so fast. Boom, 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 boom. Your body didn't have time to fall down because the next round's keeping you up.
Yeah, that was like on
Dance.
Well, but Al Pacino in Scarface, remember?
Right, yeah,
I take all your bullets. I take all your bullets.
The 5 pounds of coke he had in his body might have helped too at that point.
You're right.
Yeah. Woody, what's the largest number of gunshots you ever heard of somebody surviving?
Ooh, geez, I have to think about that one. Get back to you on that.
Well, we're not going to test you.
Yeah, no. I got somebody that survived. I have to think about that.
But was it uncommon for?
I never had anybody who had 15 shots to survive.
Yeah, that'd be a tough one.
Yeah,
5.
Tupac should survive.
Probably somewhere in that range. I had multiple people that have been shot multiple times, and for whatever reason, you can't kill bad grass.
Just doesn't hit a major artery. I mean, if in and out
throughs. Yeah.
I don't suppose anybody who sleeps over that guy's house is going to use that air mattress.
Well, they must have been out of shower curtains because it was probably that guy in the last episode. They stole their shower curtains, so they had to use an air mattress.
Might have been.
Right. So, hey, let's go to the U.S. military. And specific, I'm talking about the Navy.
Another military story.
The Navy.
Go Navy.
United States Navy announced that it has fired.
Rumored that Bill Belichick may go coach Navy, by the way.
Maybe so. That has fired the commander of one of its guided missile submarines on Monday. And according to the Navy spokesman, the commanding officer of the USS Georgia sub's blue crew, Captain Jeffrey Patterson, was relieved of duty by Rear Admiral Thomas Buchanan, the commander of the submarine group 10, due to a loss of confidence in his ability to command. Well, y'all, really, the Navy didn't see dick else about this except that, he was removed from his leadership, but he got a DUI and improper lane charge.
The sub was pulled over and he was given a DUI underwater.
He almost ran over a dolphin, and the Coast Guard called him and shit. No, that's not really happened, but they didn't want to really make that a part of the official statement. But the USS Georgia, where the submarine's port is in Kings Bay, Georgia, was located in Camden County, and the Camden County Sheriff's Office had arrested Patterson in the early hour mornings on January 9th on charges including driving under the influence and improper lane change. And you can take what you will from that. These submarines, they're so technologically advanced now, and they're so huge and all that. But the Trident submarines, right? Yeah. Like the Georgia, they require 2 separate crews called the Blue and the Gold. That's the Navy colors, who alternate manning the sub, which allows for maximum utilization of ship at sea, et cetera, et cetera. Let's talk about this for a minute. And they can stay at sea for more than 2 years, 790 days. So they're running 24/7, right? So they share the same bunks. I'm not really down with that.
They do?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You get your 12 on, 12 off. So you share a bunk, like these single man bunks. So think about what them dudes be doing at 790 days at sea. In those bunks.
Yeah.
Spunk, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I ain't trying to get in there.
Look, and that's actually pretty serious shit, because those, if you're commander of a nuclear sub like that.
My buddy, shout out to Charles Andrews, retired Rear Admiral from,
brother.
Used to run the whole Navy base in Pensacola and stuff. And I mean, that dude's in trouble anyway, because not only does he have to suffer civilian court, he's also under the Uniform Code of Military Justice, and they got to get him for that too. And he probably had his time in. Hopefully they don't strip him down to like whatever the lowest seaman is.
Interesting thing. Interesting little side note there. You had mentioned they maintain 2 crews,
right?
So they can always stay at sea, right? The other thing they do is they maintain what's known as redundancy. And when you have a nuclear sub, there's actually 2.
Yeah.
And the reason that they do that is in the event of nuclear war, if you go to launch your birds and they don't launch, you have to have another sub there. Otherwise, you're screwed because you've got nukes coming this way and none going that way.
And also there's
actually tandems,
multiple firing keys and everything else.
Yes.
But some people, if you refuse to do it, they'll shoot you on the spot, and they'll
Absolutely
have a backup person. And let's say you go rogue, the other one can take you out.
Yeah,
like they know you're going to fire. They can, they know when you open your missile bay doors and all that, you're going to fire, and it's not authorized.
Yeah, you got a key man that turns the key. You got another that's got a code.
The other one's going to blow it up.
Yep.
Unless Captain Ramius is at
Hey,
the
shout
helm.
out to all our service members who are keeping us safe every day from all this stuff.
Did you know Captain Ramius?
I knew Captain Nemo.
Hunt for Red October. Captain
Yes,
Ramius.
that was a great one.
Sean Connery.
Yeah, that was. He got in trouble for that. What's his name that wrote the book? Because
Tom Clancy.
Tom Clancy, when he wrote it, they actually brought him in. The CID brought him in and investigated him because evidently
they were working on that Caterpillar drive.
There was an incident that happened with a Russian captain that defected that they never told anybody about, and there were so many similarities in the book. They thought Clancy had gotten some secret information.
He probably did.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Speaking of those movies, the best movie ever made on nuclear submarines starred Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. It was called
good.
Crimson Tide. And if you have not seen it, go watch Crimson Tide.
I just watched it.
It's a good movie. I'd take Hunt for Red October over.
I
thought Denzel nailed that.
How about U-571? Yeah,
that was a good movie too.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. All of them were good.
What about Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea? Did you ever watch Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea?
I don't think so.
I've seen that one.
Late 60s, early 70s series with this ridiculous submarine that they battle.
No.
Every other episode, somebody turned into a werewolf. Never watched that, huh?
I'm pretty sure I never watched that.
It was good.
Sounds like you were on acid.
Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of LSU's Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdowns scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill. And calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful, out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday hosts and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary. Hey ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore, because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement. It's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC.
Well, since we're on Hollywood, let's go to Hollywood. And let's talk about Sam Haskell IV. We first talked about this unbelievably privileged child of a Hollywood agent who's uber rich back in November. But things have taken an interesting twist as he's been in court. The Hollywood heir charged with the brutal killing of his wife and her parents is being forced to come to court half naked, according to his attorney. So let me reintroduce you to this fine example of Hollywood privilege. Haskell was arrested back on November 8th after a homeless person found a headless torso wrapped in plastic in a dumpster. Authorities later found nearby surveillance footage showing Haskell dropping a heavy garbage bag into the dumpster earlier that morning. Cops later found blood and other evidence at Haskell's home and subsequently arrested him and charged him with three counts of first-degree murder. If convicted on all three counts, Haskell faces a maximum sentence of life in prison without parole. Let's get back to Haskell's court appearance on Friday. Remember, Haskell IV's father is a William Morris Endeavor EVP, Samuel Haskell III. William Morris Endeavor?
No. William Morris
Entourage
Company?
Entourage? Ari?
Was it William Morrison's cigarette company?
That's what I thought.
Well, William Morris was a company, a talent agency on its own for many years. It merged with Endeavor, which is the company Ari Emanuel, whose character was in the series Entourage, was running, and the merged entity is William Morris Endeavor that Ari runs. Who's that actor? I can't remember.
That's a major company,
Jeremy Piven. Jeremy Piven played Ari in Entourage. Anyway, so his dad's a bigwig at William Morris Endeavor. So Haskell IV was nude from the waist up while pleading not guilty on Friday in court. Haskell is 35. He had to be in the state of undress because authorities believe he's at risk of self-harm, according to his lawyer, Joe Wymortz. Mr. Haskell has not indicated that he wants to harm himself, but the sheriff's department has insisted Haskell wear this anti-self-harm vest. Haskell was in blue jail pants with his wrists chained in front of his waist while he appeared in court Friday. Wymortz claims Haskell cannot wear the anti-self-harm vest because of a medical condition and that the sheriff's department, quote, will not allow him to appear with a shirt, gown, or blanket. The result is he has to appear in court naked from the waist up. This has led to rampant speculation in the media. The situation is dehumanizing and creates an inaccurate image of Mr. Haskell. This is all according to his attorney. We actually have that image that we will post. And this is one where I actually disagree with the lawyer a little bit because, you know, Haskell's 35. He's a spoiled Hollywood brat. He's a pretty good-looking guy who's pretty fit. He's going to have himself a fan base.
Oh, yeah.
Probably the marriage, sorry, Murdaugh, you're probably going to lose.
He might be one of those, what was it, honey badgers? What was it called?
Honey trappers.
Honey trappers.
Honey badgers.
So, Woody, can you explain what's going on with the anti-self-harm vest? I've never...
Yeah, that, so suicide watches. They strip you naked and they put this vest on you. It's
like a straitjacket.
Yeah, it's kind of like a straitjacket. Sometimes they don't have your arms tied up or whatever, but basically, self-mutilation and inflicting on wounds, and they don't want you to kill yourself or impale yourself or whatever. So that's a common thing that you don't want to be a part of because they put you in a freezing-ass cold cell.
Well, this guy's charged with killing his wife, whose name was May Haskell, who's 37, her parents, who had immigrated to the U.S. from China, the dad 72 and the mom 64, and his father has represented some pretty big artists: George Clooney, Dolly Parton, Whoopi Goldberg, and Prince Edward. Why does Prince Edward need an agent?
You see Dolly Parton rock that cowboy, Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
That outfit.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see where she posted "They suck" after they lost the other day and said she'll never ever sing again for the? I'm lying. She didn't do that. Haskell's mother, Mary Donnelly Haskell, is an actress who's known for her Christmas movies. So I don't think she'll be doing another big Christmas movie. Is my
Doesn't
guess.
sound like it.
Yeah.
Well, interesting story.
Very.
Jim wasn't paying attention.
I was. It was very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
You know what was interesting? You know what was actually very interesting? Was the story Jim did this morning about the Kansas City Chief fans.
It was.
3 guys disappearing and then found dead
I
in the
bet you we're
snow.
going to be doing some updates on that.
That is a freaky story.
Yeah, that was strange. That was very strange, and there's definitely more to that.
I think Tyreek Hill might have made it over to that house after the game. He was pretty down.
Yeah, could be.
He could get away fast. Tyreek could run pretty
Taylor
freaking
Swift might have went over there.
Taylor, another suspect.
All right, we're going to go to Connecticut, and we're going to tell you a pretty crazy story. And I know Woody likes, to dig up gold. I like to dig up gold, right?
Treasure hunter at heart.
We're going to talk about a man that is also, he thought his neighbors were treasure hunters, and we're going to get into that. A Connecticut man is facing several criminal charges after digging up his neighbor's yard and claiming the family that lived there were pirates. Mark Uderstadt, 62, was charged with risk of injury, second-degree threatening, fourth-degree criminal mischief, and several other charges. Authorities were alerted around 10:15 a.m. last Friday by a caller who said her neighbor had dug up her front yard with a rock rake and refused to leave.
Rock rake.
When officers arrived at the scene, they learned that Uderstadt had walked onto the caller's property because he believed he owned the neighborhood and that the caller and her family were pirates. The caller's husband confronted him about being on the property and digging up his yard. He began to yell and scream obscenities directed at the caller's husband and young children. He then swung his rock rake in the direction of the caller's husband in a threatening manner. Uderstadt told officers he was upset because he believed his neighbors were trying to install a water line. He was arrested and held on a $15,000 cash bond.
And he was the first person in America to smoke that zombie dope from
again. These
Sierra
guys who are
the older dudes getting it down.
These seniors are like breaking laws left and right, man.
I'm right there on that line.
You're not even close to that.
They send me that AARP shit.
Look, pirate neighbors can be a problem.
Yeah,
I mean,
underreported crime.
That's it is what it is.
He looks like a troublesome neighbor. We're gonna post his picture because he looks like a neighbor that might.
He'd just be sour.
Get off my yard.
Yeah, you little bastards. And,
You're training your dog to pee in my yard,
right?
He looks like Ron Howard at age 80.
Yeah, kind of does. That's what I saw.
Opie always hated pirates.
I like Richie Cunningham better. I like the Fonz. He was a shit. The world is just an effed up place. And I just released, or we're releasing a Patreon convict subscriber episode. And it's actually from Alabama. And it's about 5 women that are on death row. But this is Alabama, and where Steve Perkins, 39, was shot and killed by a 23-year-old police officer, Mac Bailey, Marquette on September 29, 2023. Marquette and several other officers arrived at Perkins' home accompanied by a tow truck for the purpose of repossessing his truck. A grand jury indicted Marquette on a murder charge, accusing him of intentionally killing Perkins by shooting him with a pistol after having given Perkins just 1 second to comply with the officer's order. Marquette's bond was set at $30,000, which he posted almost immediately. The job now falls to me and my office to prosecute this case and seek justice, Morgan County District Attorney Scott Anderson said as he announced the indictment. It is not easy for me to be in the position to prosecute an officer, but in this circumstance, it's the right thing to do. Anderson said there were 4 officers at the scene the night Perkins was killed, but only Marquette fired his weapon. He said the grand jury cleared the other 3 officers, and he agreed with that decision. Video from the neighbor's home surveillance camera was released by a local TV station, and the video shows the tow truck backed into the driveway and Perkins came out of his house. The officers did not identify themselves when they appeared to run out from behind the house and from across the street where they had been lying in wait. This sounds all kinds of ways fucked up, y'all. Perkins can be heard shouting, "Hey, put my truck down," before the police officers rush out from the cover with their weapons drawn. One of them yells at him, hey, police, get on the ground," as the officers, or evidently one, unleashed a volley of bullets on him. One is heard shouting, "Police, get on the ground," before 18 shots were fired in rapid succession. The newly released footage has triggered outrage in Alabama City, with both the repossession firm and the police department blamed for what many say was Perkins' needless death. Officers can be seen standing over the body of Perkins in his front lawn after gunning him down, and the tow truck driver nonchalantly making off with Perkins' white GMC Sierra. So after they kill him, they went ahead and repossessed the shit anyway.
Yeah.
In the moments following the shooting, the officers appear to pat Perkins down. That's typical. One officer moving Perkins from right side over to Perkins' legs. Y'all, they would be looking for weapons. The Decatur Police Department said the officers came to Perkins' home after a tow truck driver reported how Perkins flashed a gun when he was attempting to repossess the vehicle. The Alabama law enforcement agency said that Perkins was armed with a handgun, equipped with a light, and brandished a weapon towards an officer with the Decatur Police Department, causing the officer to fire at Perkins. It's going to have to be tried in court. However, an attorney for Perkins' family said officers essentially ambushed Perkins as he came out of his home and that Perkins did not seem aware of their presence. Lee Merritt said officers accompanied the tow truck driver and property without announcing themselves and opened fire when a second. I already told you about all that. So the policy of not announcing yourself and creeping up onto people's property, they would tell you it's for officer protection so that they're not ambushed. But what they did here was ambush Steve. That's the attorney talking about that. Perkins' family also says there's no indication he had even fallen behind on payments of his truck, and which is why he tried to stop from being taken away. Again, going to be heard in court. The DA, Anderson, has not given details as what the evidence is in the case, including whether Perkins had the weapons. And it just goes on and on, y'all. I mean, saying the same shit over again. But last year, hundreds of people gathered outside of Decatur City Hall with protesters carrying signs reading, "You could have knocked, and we need answers." That's a result of another fatal shooting that happened in Decatur last year. Police Chief Todd Pinion apologized after the department gave a false description of officers' commands, and, well, that's Penn's mitre and the sword. That's probably where he got indicted. The description of the department came prior to any knowledge of the existence of the video. Another problem. The department inaccurately said officers ordered Perkins to drop his weapon. They refused to do so. That's called CYA, cover your ass. Pinion said what actually happened is officers identified themselves as police and ordered Perkins to get on the ground. He wrote, "I apologize for an inaccurate description," et cetera, et cetera. He said, there is understandably much public conversation about the shooting of Stephen Perkins. Anytime a police officer uses deadly force, questions should be asked and answers provided. Sounds a little murky. That sounds like they got their ass in the crack because maybe they're trying to cover. You know, back in my day, this is not even a swim story. It's just the way it was. You know, shit happens. And people had drop guns and stuff like that. And for accidents, but shootings, and I don't know. I don't get it. The dude wasn't behind on his payments. Yeah, first of all,
well, that was just
if they call a cop and it says, "Hey, he pulled a pistol on me when I went to repossess his truck." Okay, well, you don't have to hide in the bushes. You go knock on turn your lights and sirens on when you get there, and hey, order him with a bullhorn. Hey, come out, dude. Let's talk to you for a second. That way you can see if he has a weapon. You don't swamp donkey him, jump out of the trees and bushes and scream at him. I mean, you know what? I probably would have had a pistol too.
But the 911 call came from the tow truck driver who said he had brandished the gun, right?
Yeah, well, I'm sure that pretty much goes with the job of repossessions.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But so would standard operating procedure still be to go to the door in a situation like that?
You never walk to the door directly. That's a kill zone. But I actually, I'd have got the call, I'd have took the statement from the tow truck driver. I would approach the house from the side and I would have clearly identified myself. They would have known there was a cop car out there. Might even had 911 call them, look up the number and get the number, call and say, hey, you need to come out and talk to us.
Or get on a bullhorn or something.
Yeah, something. But somebody died, and the cops once again are under scrutiny.
We first heard the term suicide belt right before the holidays, right? I think it was the first time any of us had heard that term, and we were all pretty shocked that it involved states like Colorado, New Mexico, and Wyoming. My curiosity had been sparked on the topic, and I was able to find a couple of resources and articles, and I'd like to share some things I found. A disturbing number of suicides are sweeping America's party-obsessed ski towns, raising the alarm over why so many residents in vacation hotspots would be taking their own lives. Often dubbed the Paradise Paradox by mental health experts, high-altitude party towns in the Rockies are seeing record numbers of suicides that stand in stark contrast to the picturesque lifestyle they claim to offer. Factors leading to the rise include the transient way of life on the slopes, financial instability for people working the seasonal kind of business like skiing, isolation from cities, and a lack of decent mental health care investment from tourism-focused local governments. For those who choose to live in the mountains, and escape from the hustle and bustle of the city life is one of the main attractions, but in recent years there are growing calls for action from residents who feel not enough is being done to help those that are struggling. According to the CDC, there are 4 Rocky Mountain states in the top 6 suicide states in the country, and Wyoming's suicide rate is 4.5 times higher than the rate in New Jersey, just for comparison. The region is Wyoming, New Mexico, Colorado, and Montana. It's earned the nickname Suicide Belt. The towns designed for a vacation away from the city have become epicenters in the suicide crisis. Christina King, a therapist at Aspen in Colorado, said the crisis is a result of a negative cycle where struggling people continue to have little access to help. She argued that there is a distortion between the reality of living in a ski town versus vacationing there.
Right.
One of the highest profile losses that brought national attention to the issue was professional snowboarder Ben Lynch, who took his own life in 2021. That suicide rocked the snowboarding community and led to a renewed push to bring attention to the crisis in the Rockies that filmmaker Brett Rapkin has turned into an upcoming movie called The Paradise Paradox. Once we realized some of the statistics in these mountain regions, in the Rockies in particular, with people calling it the suicide belt, we knew we needed to do something about it, and that's what the movie is all about. So, if you're going to Aspen, or you're going to Telluride, or you're going to Jackson Hole, or one of these, really beautiful, fancy locations to ski, you're living a completely different life than somebody who's working on the mountain, maybe in a concession stand at a ski resort, or even a ski instructor isn't going to make the kind of money that provides, a big.
I was fortunate enough when I was growing up, my parents had a passion for skiing, so I spent 2 weeks every year in Aspen for Christmas. And I've skied every resort in Colorado. And when I was in college, I I was going to go take a semester off to go work in steamboat on the mountain as a, ski patrol. But I ended up not going. My buddy went, but it's pretty tough times they're not making any money, and the resorts are charging and the price of lift tickets now are just stupid. But I would think that, along with what you said, I would think also in those states, what you have is a lot of Indian reservations, and that suicide rate there, I know, is extremely high. So figure that one in too. But I'd never really.
I think a lot of drinking too, because
even though it's outlawed and everything else, and the cheap drugs, and it's not a lot of opportunities, and it's unfortunate. And I've been working with the tribe in North Dakota on the case, but it's tragic the way those people live. But yeah, being a ski bum is a real deal. But being a real broke when in Aspen or anywhere, it's a $50 hot dog.
Yeah.
And you can't live anywhere near the mountain because all the real estate near the mountain is sky high.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's something to do for a year, 2 years, so a while though, whatever, say you did it. But
when you're young and,
idealistic. The suicide people
don't have
do
9 kids and all those sorts of things.
Right.
All the expenses and responsibility that life brings you.
Suicide, don't do it.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glaze, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something, all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/real life. That's GOBBLE.com/real life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had.
You hear that, Woody?
What?
They stole what?
They stole what?
That's right. We hadn't done a They Stole What in a while. So, we just wrapped up a season where you had to worry about porch pirates stealing packages, things like that. Right. A Florida woman, she came home to a stunning sight last week. While she was at work, somebody stole her concrete driveway.
Oh, I saw this. It's so stupid.
My driveway is gone, Amanda Brochu said, and she ain't exaggerating, y'all. What used to be a concrete slab outside her home is now a patch of dirt. Someone took her driveway. Now, it all started when she put her home up for sale. She said strange contractors were coming by and they were measuring her driveway. Her son actually counted 5 different contractors coming by. They all stated that it was a part of basically her realtor putting her house for sale, and she took them at their word and never even asked her realtor about it. Brochure has since contacted law enforcement. Her doorbell camera captured a bulldozer tearing out concrete and hauling it away. She was in shock. So she basically calls that real estate agent and she says, someone is still in my driveway. Her real estate agent then posts online, the doorbell camera footage and says if anybody recognizes these guys, let us know. I've had multiple people come forward saying they've seen things like this happen, whether it be driveways, roofs, or even painting supplies. So it happens more often than you would actually see it. Authorities said they are investigating, but they're going to need additional help. They're running out of leads and all that sort of thing. She said she just replaced the roof and made other investments and was quoted $10,000 to replace the concrete. And y'all, we're going to post the pictures online.
I don't understand.
But literally,
I don't understand.
her concrete driveway is now a dirt pad. Someone stole it. And I don't know what they would do with it.
Because you can't just, it's not like you could pick up one piece of concrete. You got to bust it up.
I know.
It's got rebar in it. So
It's crazy.
It's not even worth scrap rebar.
Look, I got no answers for these idiots.
They didn't need it to weigh down their cash.
But I know one thing.
Maybe somebody was buried under that concrete.
Ooh, maybe Jimmy Hoffa.
Maybe.
Where was it?
Maybe
What
so.
state was
Florida. So there you go. I promise you that may be the only story you hear where someone's driveway got stolen in the next year or so.
That wasn't Pinellas County, was it?
It was not Pinellas County, I don't think. It just said Florida. It didn't tell me what county. So that's
crazy.
They stole what?
They stole what?
For today.
Don't understand that one.
I don't either.
Especially 5 different contractors coming over to measure the drug.
Bro, they had
I think it was all the same crew.
Yeah.
But why measure it? I don't know. What are you
You had to
doing?
get a jackhammer and jack it out.
That's crazy.
Jack it up.
Look, I know you got something to read there.
I do have a
and
little
we're
something.
we're gonna get into that, but I want to say this because I will totally forget y'all. But this reminded me of something. This stolen concrete story. Now, back in the day when I was selling paint, I had a painting contractor call me one time, and he will remain nameless. But he said, "I got a problem." And I said, "What?" And he said, "I painted the wrong house."
Oh.
So he worked for a new residential builder, and they had a whole subdivision. And let's say lot 101 was supposed to be painted green, and lot 102 was supposed to be painted red. Well, he painted the wrong lot.
How do you fix
the whole
that?
wrong color? He had to freaking repaint
Repaint it?
everything.
That's crazy.
Same contractor, fast forward a year later, you paint brick. Like that's a big deal now, right? One house was supposed to have painted brick. The other one was not. He painted the brick on the wrong house.
Whoa, that's a whole.
So they had to tear all the brick down.
A different feather,
You can't get that off.
right?
Can't?
No.
You done. Because the bricks are like porous, right? It's
Yeah, I mean it's embedded into the pores of the brick. You're screwed. I think they tried to talk the person. Into,
can we
This
give you a
looks great.
discount? Yeah, this look wonderful.
so that reminded me of that. But
Did they stop using that contractor?
I would think they
Or
did.
realize
for
he
sure.
had dyslexia and they needed to give him every instruction backwards?
Painted the wrong house brick. What do you have to get that off?
Nothing. They haven't invented anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, I know
Nobody's ever done that before.
All right, let's roll with some
Crime time.
Kiki crimes for Monday, y'all. And let's go to the great state of Georgia. Georgia woman was arrested Wednesday after assaulting her husband because he fell asleep. We did one just like this, but it's not the same one, y'all. Before having birthday sex with her.
Oh.
All right.
No.
So I don't agree with this whole if you have an anniversary or it's Valentine's or birthday that you have to have sex.
I think you'd have
certainly
sex
do.
all the time.
Right? I think right. That's a shoe on a different foot or something like that. So anyway, the woman is charged with battery and family violence, according to police, just after 4:30 on Wednesday. Deputies responded to a home after a 911 call. And when they arrived, the woman told them it was her birthday and her husband was supposed to have given her a sexual favor, but he fell asleep instead. He was tired. She told deputies she became angry and hit her husband with her phone, causing cuts on his face.
Can't do that.
Causing cuts on his face, all right? She says she called the sheriff's office after her husband pushed her away and she hit her head on the corner of a nightstand. Well, there you go.
Shouldn't have hit him with a phone.
The husband admitted. That's right. The husband admitted to deputies he did not give her any sexual favors because he was tired.
It happened.
There you go. He said in
Not to me,
addition,
but
in addition to the phone incident, his wife hit him in the side of the head with her hand. Keeps on giving,
he's
right?
throwing
The
down.
husband said he tried to push his wife away. She could not continue hitting him. And EMS arrived and examined and released the couple. Deputies determined the wife was the primary aggressor and took her ass to jail.
Come on.
Yep, that's true. It happens.
Well, he's the one that should have been arrested. Come on.
Hey,
Come on.
we all know about your 30-day ED pill thing and all that shit from last week or whatever it was. I was listening. I was laughing. All right, that's it. Kinky crimes for Monday.
Birthday sex.
Dumb criminals. Makes me think of Michael Jackson, Smooth Criminal.
We're going to go to woody territory again, down in Brazil.
Brazil. You might as well.
Man, you stay in Brazil.
Bro,
And I love
thinking,
Brazil.
Why don't you just plant your flag there or something? Conquer that motherfucker, Mike. You taking it over?
I'm going to test your Rosetta Stone knowledge because there's something I want you to translate for me when I get there in the story, okay? So, a 23-year-old Brazilian man named Ryan Roca da Silva had a history of making poor decisions.
Yeah, I bet he did.
Back in 2017, da Silva attempted to rob two men at gunpoint.
There you go.
He had chosen his targets poorly, and his marks, two gang members, promptly turned the tables on da Silva, seizing his gun and taking him captive.
There you go.
The two gangbangers decided to punish da Silva with a unique form of street justice. They decided to put a tattoo on da Silva's forehead.
Oh, God.
Woody, as our South American and Spanish language expert, can you translate for me? The tattoo says, Eso ladreo y vacilo.
So I'm going to tell you a couple things. It could be Portuguese, but I know this is Espanol, and I think it means a thief and a fool. Is that right?
God, that investment you made in Rosetta Stone is paying off big time. Right. Exactly. It means I am a thief and a fool.
Yeah.
So this guy goes to rob two guys and turns around and ends up with a tattoo on his forehead that says, I am a thief and a fool.
Oh, my God. That's the gift that keeps on giving.
What do you think about that?
That's nice.
That's nice to watch.
Hold down.
Definitely letting them know.
We'll post that baby for you.
Then, I don't know how you get that removed.
Yeah, well, unbelievably, both of these men served short sentences for inflicting serious bodily injury and, get the second charge, illegal embarrassment upon da Silva.
There you have it.
That's a unique Brazilian law. If you think da Silva might have been scared straight by his failed robbery of the gang members, you would be wrong. Da Silva was jailed in February of 2019 when he was caught stealing a cell phone and money from two emergency room workers. Not that big a deal, right? Some money and phone. You're going to serve a short sentence and then you're going to be free, right? Well, not da Silva. He decided to make a run for it and escape the minimum security prison he was being held in October of 2019. So just a few months after he was arrested. Da Silva was recaptured just hours later when a cafe owner who had seen da Silva's picture on the news alerted authorities that the man was dining in his establishment. The
Waffle House.
Thief and a fool. Yes, that's what I thought of immediately when I came across this. So
Waffle Casa.
I guess the failed escape and extension of his sentence convinced da Silva it was time to modify his behavior because from that point on, he became a model inmate. In fact, da Silva was slated to be released earlier this month on good behavior.
Okay.
But when you're Ryan Roca da Silva and you have I am a thief and I am an idiot tattooed across your forehead, you don't take the conventional approach, Woody. That's why da Silva, with just days remaining before his release, said fuck the release and joined 6 other inmates who captured prison guards and then escaped the Sao Paulo Provisional Detention Center.
Yes, indeed.
Once on the outside, da Silva vowed not to make the same mistake as last time. So, after robbing a gas station, he visited a local tattoo artist and asked if the man could remove his tattoo. The man tried his very best, but since De Silva's tattoo was not professionally done, it was extremely difficult to remove. The best the tattoo artist could do was a partial removal, which frankly drew more attention to De Silva's head than the original tattoo. De Silva realized he'd be no more difficult to identify than he was before, and he decided to cut his losses. He handed himself over to military police 2 days later. De Silva was resentenced on Friday and will serve out an extension of 5 years in what they call a closed regime, which is Brazil's most restrictive form of incarceration. Once there, he has vowed to follow the rules and lay down in his cell each night, listening to nothing but American banjos.
Banjos,
That's his repair.
Yeah, that's nice. They got tattooed his forehead for a spank target in that closed regime prison, right?
He is indeed a dumb.
That would be
indeed
a
dumb criminal. Truthfully.
Any final thoughts?
Yeah. Hope everybody stayed warm this weekend and shit like that. Deer season ended.
It's gonna be cold as hell. It was cold as hell, I should say.
Yeah, and
The wussification of America. Get a pair of gloves. Come on.
I got gloves.
4-wheel drive.
I got that too.
You know, my mailman that comes here to the studio.
He always walks through.
Yeah, cool dude.
Yeah.
It was 17 degrees. He had shorts on.
Yeah,
I said, "You're a real man." You hear me? He's a beast. He had on that big, heavy post office jacket.
Yeah.
And shorts. And he's like, "Brother, I'm loving this weather."
Right? I bet he was. He was sweating.
Dang.
There's sweating going on in the lower region on that. So
yeah, he still walks it
Yeah.
and drops the mail. You know, he's not one of the drivers.
Hey, we love all you lifers. Y'all continue to like and share. And if you get a chance, go leave us a review and all that good podcaster stuff. Y'all are the freaking best fans in the world.
That's
even
right.
the ones that like Mike.
That makes him even better.
Right. Michael?
Means I got a good taste.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we'll be back with you all for another episode, provided the weather is above 55 degrees in Louisiana, which is the only time we're able to come in
about
studio.
that ice.
Are they after me?
Yeah, they're coming.
Yes, indeed.
All right, until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agavino.
Your host of Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.
Let's.